How you feeling? You got John Riggs here. Have you ever noticed that 100% of the people who complain about broken video games have never made a game before in their entire life? Well, if there's glitches or bugs, sure, you usually call out the company on it so they can patch it up. But knowing the game was gonna be the way it was, well, let's just look at the game the way it is. Talking about my thoughts on Cyberpunk 2077, a digital copy of this game was provided to me for the purpose of this video, but this video is not sponsored or endorsed, no cash changed hands. I just got a copy of the game to play. And I'm glad I did, because I love this game a lot. I wanted to beat the game before I talked about it too. It took me 20 hours to go straight through the story mode. I'm gonna go back and do all the side mission stuff later. If you're wondering, yes, the game did crash. It crashed on me 5 times during gameplay. It just crashed, would go back to the title screen and I'd just start playing all over again. It took me about a minute from when the game crashed to when I came up. It constantly saved your game. It wasn't a huge imposition for me. And there's some hilarious glitches that I saw in this game. I'm gonna show some of those in this video. Just the walking around town. Now they call this place Night City. I don't know if it's based on a certain town. I think they said it's in California. So like futuristic Los Angeles maybe, but it's not, I don't know. I don't think it's really like the LA layout or anything. But it does have sections like Los Angeles has. Like there's a Chinatown, a Japantown, you know, there's the, what they call Pacifica. There's even like kind of like the outskirts of town. So you're outside of town where it's a little bit more desolate. And I actually like this area. I mean, it's cool to see like the futuristic buildings and the billboards and all that and the way that people are dressed. But even like just going outside of town and just, you know, chilling out in this area. I mean, this kind of looks like the town I grew up in. Now the future year, 2077, all the futuristic cars, and this is the car that I'm driving. All right, you know what? I've driven worse. Now it drives like any typical driving game where you're just driving around town, scooting along, looking for something to do anyway. Now you have your little mini map up in the corner. That'll kind of point you in the right direction of whatever your next objective is. Every once in a while you might see something pop up saying, hey, you need some help over here. You can choose to do it or not. If you don't like this car that you're driving, well, you can also just get out and take someone else's car if you have enough tech points or whatever, you know? You can also find little gangs of people with motorcycles. You can actually take one of their motorcycles if you feel the need. This is actually my preferred way of getting around town, is riding on the motorcycles. You can squeeze through cars and all that. I don't like crashing into cars, come on. Or if you need to get to the other side of town fast, you can always use the fast travel system. This is kind of a standard anymore. There's all these little fast travel checkpoints all over town. Kind of like the subway system in the Spider-Man game. There's so much customization you can do to yourself in this game. All the outfits you can pick up, all the clothes and accessories and all that. So you talk about your tech points and your upgrades, and there's so much to upgrade. It's one of those things where I keep forgetting that I have all these skill points to use, where it's like, hey, you have like 11 skill points you haven't used yet. So then I end up cashing them in like all at once. Now, depending on how you play the game, depending on how you fight, depending on how you move, you can use it to your advantage. Now, as you're moving around town, if you do see some action you want to get in on, man, just go for it. Just, you know, get out of your car, stop your car, or, you know, walk down the alley or whatever. And, you know, just have some fun here. Now, because it's all futuristic and stuff, you have your little cyber eyes, and those will look out for things like turrets that you can deactivate. You can distract the enemies, so you can, you know, have them go a different direction and kind of sneak up behind them if you'd like. That's a really cool feature. I like that a lot. Or you can just try to just jump in and start plowing enemies. Now, I did not do successful this time around. Again, a lot of weapons you can grab. You can get shotguns, machine guns, sniper rifles. You can also go with the close range attack like lead pipes and baseball bats, and my preferred weapon this entire game was the sword, the katana. I didn't think a game like this I would like a katana, but hey, you know what? If you want to turn yourself into Blade or something like that, man, go for it. I'd always end up taking more damage because of this, but man, I got rid of the enemies a lot quicker. And the easiest way naturally is if you can sneak up behind them, you can do the stealth kill. It didn't work for me this time around because this guy's, you know, stronger than he should have been, but yeah, you can just take him out that way. Either put him to sleep or just, you know, take him out. And if you do a stealth kill, however, and they're laying around, you don't want anyone to find the body, so you can actually pick up the body and dump him in a dumpster or, you know, some box. I mean, you know, no evidence. And then once all the enemies are gone, hey, stash their loot, steal all their stuff. You can take their ride if you'd like. This ride's on fire. If it gets too much damage, it'll blow up. I'll take this one instead. Another gripe of mine is you get non-stop phone calls and texts through this entire game. In fact, a lot of times it'll happen right before you do like a mission. So then they're trying to talk to you and you're just like, I gotta get off the phone. I gotta do the thing I came here for. And that happens more than I would like it to. Good that you're getting all these side missions, but I just want to play along here. And if you're wondering about Keanu Reeves' character, he just kind of pops up every once in a while. I don't want to spoil the storyline or anything like that, but you know, he's around, you know. adding some commentary to what you're doing. A lot of the missions in this game involve a lot of listening. You can choose what you want to say, and depending on what you choose, now I chose the corporate route. There's 3 modes. It might give you more options of things to say, but you know, you just gotta go along with the dialogue. You can also skip through the dialogue if you'd like. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I read faster than I can listen to them speak, so I did a lot of skipping around. And then when it comes to missions, I mean, the main story mode took me about 20 hours, but there are so many side hustles you can do in here, so many. Some of these are to buy a new car, some of them are to do little, missions, like, like someone needs your help or something. You got your street cred up, you get more missions that way. Hard to talk about Cyberpunk 2077 without talking about some of the glitches. Now there's this one, and when I posted this on Twitter, many people said that they saw the same thing too. He's just kind of stuck in the elevator and not moving. Easy to pick off, but I was just like, oh, that's kind of fun. That's kind of interesting. That was the first one I saw. Now this one, I was trying to hide the body in the back of this van, which you can do. But unfortunately, his whole body kind of clipped through the side of it, and then it created this interesting, like, not supposed to happen. It's weird because there's still weight to it, there's still gravity to it, and he's just kind of stuck in there. Now after a while, I mean, this was just for fun. I did pick him up and put him where he was supposed to be properly, but I mean, and once when I was on a motorcycle, I kind of like jumped off the bridge to, make faster time, but then it kind of kicked me off, but then the motorcycle just kind of stayed hovering in the air. And that was fun to see. I lost that one. Well, fortunately, you can always call it back later, but interesting to see all the same. I actually like glitches and bugs. I think it's hilarious. There's one time in the game I didn't capture footage of it, but it put me to like 0 health, but I didn't die. I was still playing the game. So until the next cutscene or whatever happened, I had unlimited life. So that's not bad, right? It was during a really rough part of the game too. I don't play a whole lot of AAA titles, but this game I actually liked a lot. Yes, it crashed a few times. Yes, the bugs and the glitches and all that too. But I really, really enjoyed myself, and I'm looking forward to playing more of those side missions. I want to get some of those out of the way.